Morning once again, and welcome to this webinar introducing the AOSIS Knowledge Hub. Um, Good morning, especially to the current AOSIS chair, His Excellency Ambassador Walton Webson. I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules, I'm sure, to join us this morning as we seek to update you on the work that we've been doing in making some major improvements to the document library, which is, of course, found on the AOSIS website. Now, my name is Andy Liburd, and I've worked in the media in Antigua and Barbuda, in the region as well, as a news reporter, news editor, television talk show host, and news anchor for well over 20 years. I know uh, my face doesn't give that away exactly, but recently I narrated the Islands on Alert podcast series, and that, of course, was produced by AOSIS. And the series actually can be found right here on the front page of our website. Now, the current undertaking to bring improvements to the AOSIS website fits right into the overall vision of the current AOSIS chair, Dr. Webson, in establishing now a knowledge hub, very important, a knowledge hub within AOSIS. Our Ambassador Webson, of course, is here with us this morning, and I am pleased to give him the opportunity to share his thoughts on how this information portal will continue to positively impact the overall mission of AOSIS. Ambassador?
Thank you very much, Andy. And good morning, good evening, good day to colleagues wherever you are joining us for this webinar on this issue, on discussing the issue of the launching of our Knowledge Hub with AOSIS. Let me begin by first of all thanking our colleagues from the United Kingdom and our colleagues from Microsoft who have been very helpful in either financing or providing technical support to us over the last year in helping us to move this process forward. I am not a technical guru. I might be described as by some as a visionary, and therefore the concept of the Knowledge Hub is something that I envisaged when I assumed for Antigua and Barbuda the chair of AOSIS. The basis is simple. We, as AOSIS, have been in existence for over 30 years, or just on 30 years. We've had several member states who have led the process, and we understand the role that we have played, very significant role we have played in the international and global community, in the multilateral arena in setting the agenda on climate and environment. We are similarly playing a significant role in the area of sustainable development and the oceans, the additional two areas that AOSIS has taken on over the last few years. To that end, it is important that we do not lose history. You know the old maxim about those who know their history, and the old maxim of what you are doomed to repeat. We would like to be able to establish in perpetuity a knowledge focal base point where we can use the AOSIS website and a knowledge hub and linking that to other similar knowledge portals around the world. There is one in the Pacific. I was recently speaking to the Caribbean Development Bank, and the president of the bank was indicating to me his excitement about AOSIS launching this knowledge hub and the bank launching a similar thing in the Caribbean. So having something in the Caribbean, something in the Pacific, and the AOSIS portal from here, we will be able to provide for academia, we'll be able to provide for policymakers, we'll be able to provide for students, we'll be able to provide for leaders general information and policy manual and briefs on the issues that are important to small island developing states. This, we believe, and I believe, is very, very important. And it is something, and I am very excited that we can launch this process today, because I believe this will be most helpful in the further development of AOSIS as a significant group within the United Nations system, and it will be very important to member states, individuals, and those categories I mentioned earlier in looking at and learning from the lessons that we have learned over the many years. And again, we will be able to go back in history, see where we have come from. We'll be able to plan, use these documents as tools in planning, and I believe it will be most useful a tool for our community. And I'm very happy that my colleagues, Leah, Andy, Claxton, and others who have joined in on this process to get us to this point. We launched today. We hope that the public will immediately begin to make use. We have to make it known to people that it exists, and we will do so. And we have to, of course, maintain the process so that it becomes, it is always contemporary and it remains current. So once again, I want to express my thanks to our colleagues from the United Kingdom, our colleagues from Microsoft, and I want obviously to express my deep appreciation to my team for the hard work that they have put in, because they're the ones who have brought this vision to life and making us now feel comfortable that we can launch the process. Thanks, guys. Good luck, and may this live long, and may we find perfect use for this tool. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you very much, first of all, for expounding on your vision, and thanks for giving us all the opportunity, really and truly, to make it happen. So really appreciate, much appreciation to all of the efforts behind the scene in bringing us thus far. Now, let's get to the actual knowledge hub. And I believe everyone is seeing my screen. Now, this is the AOSIS website, and I'm sure everyone would have known and seen and is familiar with the AOSIS website. It continues to be pretty much a work in progress. And as you can see clearly from what you're seeing here, is that it carries information related to the work of AOSIS.
Excuse, excuse me. Are we supposed
Yes,
to be seeing your screen?
yes, aren't you seeing it?
Nope.
Okay, give me 1 second there. 1 second.
But as I have the floor and you're looking for a screen, let me
Yeah.
congratulate the OSIS chair for this initiative. I think this is a wonderful initiative, and I think is something that we applaud, and we think we will benefit significantly. So I just want to add my voice of commendation to the AOSIS chair for this
Okay.
initiative.
Thank you very much, colleague Thomas. Thank you very much. All right, are you now seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So as I was saying, this is the AOSIS website with which I'm sure everyone is quite familiar. It has all of the information relative to the happenings, events, the activities of AOSIS, where you can find updates and information related to the work that AOSIS has been undertaking. I believe that it will get to a stage where all of the current information, as it happens, will be provided on the website. If you're a Twitter follower, if you're a member of Twitter, you will see that in terms of Twitter, in terms of the social aspects of it in this corner, that is very much updated. Press releases and recent statements, those are also there as well. so you can find those. And this is just refamiliarization, because I'm sure everyone already has good and decent knowledge about the AOSIS website. Now, basically, to the work that we have been doing, which has occupied our attention over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, and it is the document library. And as Ambassador Webson points out, this is pretty much the fulcrum. This is where the Knowledge Hub now, the vision of the Knowledge Hub, will be further explored and expanded upon and built upon. And this is where the excitement for what we're doing right now is taking place. Okay, here we go. So this is the document library. Now, I just want to point to something here which pretty much feeds and aligns exactly with the vision that Ambassador Webson points out. Just below document library, you would see here, it's a search for you to search, filter, view, and take note of this. Download thousands of documents, press releases, videos, and other media.
Yes.
That is most crucial. Download thousands of documents, press releases, videos, and other media. And that is in essence what the Knowledge Hub, that is in essence what the document library is about. The voluminous amount of work that AOSIS has been occupied with can be found right here. Now, there is pretty much everybody is familiar with how a website operates. So basically, I'm just going to take you through the process in terms of doing a simple search and achieving and getting the information that you're actually looking for. So, for example, let us just for a simple search, let's just put in Belize. Belize, of course, was at one time the chair of AOSIS, and quite recently. Now, this will become your friend, because at times, I mean, you will have to do a refresh on the page. But let's just put in Belize here and see what we come up with. And below here, you will see all of the options in terms of your search as it relates to Belize. Below here, in terms of the navigation buttons that you have here, the various tabs, a filtration process can take place. So if you're looking at something specific as it relates to Belize, and you may want to put in climate, you will see that the search gets narrowed. And as you can see here, the search results now for Belize on the climate, it comes down to 13. Before, it was just Belize. As you can see, the search is narrowed. The search results show 19. So in other words, based upon the filtration options, climate, if you want to put in, let's say, adaptation. And let's go to statement. As you can see, the various options, it is a very quick search, quite a powerful tool. In other words, based upon the filter options, based upon exactly what you're looking for, you're able to find those results in quick time. As a matter of fact, it is pretty much automatically generated, because with a click of these individual tab topics, you're able to see that the results come up almost immediately, if not immediately. So the tool is extremely powerful. Let us go to another option. Let's say we do Maldives, SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. There you go. Some options come up already. As I said earlier, you're always able to do a quick refresh, just in case, just to make sure that you get exactly what you're looking for. 135 documents came up. Let me just use climate. Statement, went over the statement. The search results is 3. So the filter pretty much helps you now to narrow down your search, so you get very, very specific information. I'm going to jump ahead now because I think everybody already has a good idea. And this is where the power of the tool is going to be so important in terms of the work that we've been doing. As Ambassador Webson earlier pointed out, this is research work that dates back since the very beginnings of AOSIS. And so I just want to showcase exactly what we are trying to achieve here, that in a single space, we're going to be able to find information, statements, policy positions, submissions on everything AOSIS has undertaken over the past 30 years. And that is extremely powerful. As opposed to going to various websites, going online, we have it all in one place. As I said, this is extremely powerful. I'm speaking from the perspective of a journalist and someone involved in communications that has been covering climate matters over the past few years. In doing a simple search, sometimes you may go to the UNFCCC website, you may just do a simple online search, you may do Google. But how powerful it is now that we have a single source, a single platform from which you can get that information, and information curtailed to the very needs that we are seeking to achieve, as opposed to going to websites and other information portals that may not exactly provide what you are looking for. So the popularization, the sharing of the information about the website is going to be extremely crucial. As I said, let me jump quickly to this one, and we're speaking about framework convention. Simple search. We bracket it. Let me just remove climate. Oh. Here it is. Creating the Framework Convention on Climate Change. And this is a document that goes right back to 1991. This is pretty much the very beginnings of the work of AOSIS. And so let me just jump quickly to this. As you can see, when I clicked on it, we have the exact document. In terms of the work that I've been doing is pretty much securing these documents, getting them onto the website. So from the body of the document, I've actually copied the actual statements. So here they are. Here's the statement in full. And if you wish to get it in a PDF version, all you would need to do is to click here. There you go. And the document is here in full, heading, everything. And as I said, this is a document that dates back to 19th December 1991. So all of this information in one place, going back for the past 30 years. That is how powerful the tool is. Just by way of information, because the appeal has been made to various missions, to various leaders, diplomats, what have you, to help us and support us in terms of popularizing the Knowledge Hub, in terms of popularizing and getting information into the document library. So everyone is as much a part of this process as the ones that are undertaking the exercise. So I just want to stress here just before I go and hand over to Leah. Stress the appeal, and we sent out information that the documents that you have, please send them in so that we can get them onto the website. And now that would be making it more effective in terms of building the Knowledge Hub and making it an effective tool. We will handle all of the heavy lifting in terms of categorizing, making sure the document is properly presented, applying all of the tabs, what have you. But the important thing is making that information that you may have sitting down in your own personal libraries or wherever it might be, that is important in making that information now available to everyone that may require it. So we're talking about media, we're talking about, as Ambassador said, academia, we're talking about professionals, we're talking about
I think we had an interruption there, but I think Andy was skipping to Q&A. So we would like to open up the floor before I give some kind of closing thoughts, just to see if there's any questions from anybody who's joining the. Okay. Hi, Ambassador Thomas. How are you? Thanks.
How are you,
good to see you,
Leah? Thank you very much, and good to see my ambassador, Brother Conrad Hunt is around. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. And again, I think this is an excellent initiative. I really happy about this. My only question I will want to ask at this point, which I have asked from any time I have a presentation like that, is ongoing support. How do we ensure the sustainability of this with ongoing background support? What is the process? Because again, Antigua will hand over, and I hope that when that hand over, we also have this thing continuing in perpetuity. There is no better value than to go on AOSIS website and to see all that have been said for all of these long years from 1988 to up to this present time. It will be a fantastic opportunity and a fantastic tool. So I really want to make sure that we have this thing continued going forward. Thank you.
That's a really, really important question. So I see another one from Zoe, so we'll take that as well.
Thank you, and good morning, Leah and ambassadors. So my name's Zoe Compston. I'm the head of the development team at the UK mission, also here on behalf of Tom Woodruff, our ECOSOC ambassador, who unfortunately is in another meeting. I just wanted to congratulate AOSIS on the launch of the document library, and to say that we were very pleased on behalf of the UK to be able to support it. Certainly anything which enables AOSIS to have a stronger voice, already a very strong voice, but an even more strong and well-informed voice on climate issues, conservation, sustainable development is really welcome. So no question from me, but just to say congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Zoe. And I think the UK mission has been really helpful, especially allowing Andy to come on stream and working with our IT team. So yeah, thank you. Thanks and appreciate your intervention. So on the first question, I think that's a really important one, the sustainability of it. And in some way, the document library is a response to the sustainability challenges around the AOSIS chair. So as if we can encourage kind of each chair to put as much up online, then it makes it available, and that will help with sustainability. But in terms of maintaining the website, so a couple of things. So some of the thematic leads do tend to continue from chair to chair. So they would need to kind of, the people that have been with AOSIS Secretariat for a long time have been integral in this. So I'm thinking Bryce, Ismail, so they've been very hands-on with this. So there's some overlap in the short term. It's really important though that this is built into the budget, and I think Ambassador Webson has made that commitment to work with the AOSIS Bureau, who do stay on chair to chair and can kind of when doing the budgeting, make sure that there's someone who's responsible for uploading and kind of maintaining it. The other thing is we do have AOSIS fellows. So if we could have one of the fellows who takes a little bit more of a hands-on approach with really building that culture of getting at the different events, making sure we get the AOSIS statement, get it uploaded, and kind of track that in real-time basis. So those are some of the ideas we have. As Antigua and Barbuda chairing at the moment, we've built out a couple of manuals so that it's clear how to do it on the back end. So that information will be handed over. So we're trying as much as possible to do that, but we kind of went into it with cognizant of those challenges. So yes, I think that's any other. We're kind of onto the Q&A. So so Andy was saying about, the vision is to have thousands of resources, and I think that's at the moment where we really appreciate ESPN, who did a document dump for us, and a bunch of resources, which Andy's still going through and uploading to the AOSIS portal. And we really encourage anybody else. I know Grenada was chair, so any ideas of people that we could reach out to and request documents from their time, especially some of the early days. That's very valuable. And maybe Andy's muted.
Just a question.
Yes.
For Andy. Maybe Andy could speak to us and tell us how what is the protocol for the categorization. We understand how they have categorized the document, and so that will assist in such process. So maybe Andy could give us a sense of the categorization protocol.
Unfortunately, we're still not hearing you. I'm not sure what the issue is. So I think I can comment on that for now. So we've tried to mirror the UN system. So anything that we have 3 issues AOSIS works on, which is the main topic category: ocean, sustainable development, and climate. So it really mirrors the negotiation strains that AOSIS works in. There's a 4th one, which is the fellowships, and kind of specific things around fellowships. Within climate, the subtopics are around adaptation, mitigation, loss and damage. So the kind of thematic issues in sustainable development. The topics are around the kind of SDGs or the finance, the different areas that we see in the negotiations similarly, and same for oceans: blue economy, BBNJ, law of the sea. So that's how we're doing topics to try to consolidate in one place AOSIS views on the issue and therefore influence the development of the international law. The forums are tied to climate, so that would be the UNFCCC primarily. And then in sustainable development, ECOSOC, General Assembly. So we're really trying to mirror the UN system a bit. And then again, just underscoring what Andy was saying, that we've copied and pasted the entire text of the document into the website because we found that it wasn't possible to search just by uploading.
Yeah, I'm sitting in your chair for now.
Okay, we hear you, Andy.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in Ambassador's chair for now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good thing that I'm in office early this morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think the question was effectively answered earlier. And hopefully that satisfies your inquiry, Mr. Thomas. Okay, all right. Oh.
We lost Leah now.
Okay, we lost Leah now.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
That one was my fault. So just pausing in case there's any other questions. And then I'm going to pull up a slide that looks at just to say how to submit, either contact us. So we've another sustainability question. We have dedicated a library@aosis.org. So there's an email address that will manage all of the inputs and kind of submissions for the library. So here's this. So just to kind of flag that up. So what we would love to hear from you about is, first of all, specific people we can reach out to. So as I mentioned, Espen has been really integral. So anyone else that you know would have, probably yourself, maybe we'll send you an email, Mr. Thomas, around Grenada's chairmanship and any statements and documents that might be who we can reach out to, that kind of thing. So we'd love to get as much documents. And then Andy's doing a lot of work to bring us up to where we currently are with the historical documents. And then going forward, it will really be the role of the chairs and the AOSIS coordinators on thematic issues to upload the statements and submissions. So we would like to again thank the UK mission to the UN for helping us to kind of get some staff capacity through Andy and through the IT team to get this project off the ground. Thank you as well to Microsoft, who has done a lot of work on the IT side. So building out the website, and our goal, as Andy said, is to have thousands of documents available. I think right now we have around 150. So the goal is thousands by the time we can, at least several hundred, but by the time we hand off the chair.
And the theme that I had there in terms of the knowledge hub is ours. That speaks exactly what Leah is speaking about. It is all ours. And so the success of it is really largely dependent and contingent on the support that we get from all of those persons, individuals, missions, what have you, that have that information, that have those submissions, that have those statements, those documents, to get them to us. Because the success of it, the success of the site, the success of the knowledge hub, and the information that we're trying to make available to everyone is dependent on the support of everyone.
And I think a few concluding comments from Ambassador Hunt.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leah. It's not actually concluding comments. I'm just a participant like anyone else. But I just wanted to say thank you and thank Andy for launching the Knowledge Hub, in particular Ambassador Webson, with his vision. But one thing you mentioned, if there are any documents, I wish you could have been more specific in terms of, we know when we speak of document, we speak of statements, press release, but I believe it should go beyond that. Dr. Thomas has been in this game for quite some time, and he has published a number of academic papers, scientific papers. I think we should also reach out to all our SIDS authors who have authored a number of scientific or academic papers and policy papers, and have those included as a part of the document library. Of course, someone would have to do the vetting on this, but it should not just be press release, statements, AOSIS policy papers. It can be much more than that, because the idea is to develop and retain some sort of specialized knowledge which we can share as small island development states among each other. Just to add that, thank you.
Great, thanks for that contribution, Ambassador. So we'd like to thank everyone for joining us on this launch today. It's really great to see the interest, and we do have another one at 4 p.m. New York time, which is 9 a.m. Samoa time. So we're trying to catch some of our Pacific colleagues as well. So thank you so much for joining, and we hope you input into the Knowledge Hub and reach out to us at library@aosis.org with any specific feedback and comments. So thanks a lot for being.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, once again, welcome to everyone, and thank you for taking time out from your busy schedules, as I'm sure, to be a part of this afternoon's presentation as we share information on a very important project that AOSIS has been working on in terms of bringing some necessary updates and improvements to the AOSIS document library found at aosis.org, of course. A part of the vision that was expressed earlier, well, some time ago, by His Excellency Ambassador Walton Webson. Of course, he is the AOSIS chair. Now, Ambassador Webson, earlier today, Ambassador Webson shared at our earlier webinar some thoughts, expounded on his vision as to where the knowledge hub should be taking us as a grouping, as AOSIS, shared his thoughts on how it can develop into really an effective tool in sharing information and hosting important research documents, hosting the voluminous amount of work that AOSIS has undertaken over the past 30 years. So, very, very important in terms of what he shared with us. And we are going to go to that right now. And then when we get back, I'll do a brief introduction of who I am and the other member of the team who will be presenting this afternoon. So we're going to go over now to His Excellency, Ambassador Walton Webson, who of course is the permanent representative of Antigua and Barbuda to the United Nations, and of course the current chair of AOSIS. I'm going to be sharing.
Let me begin by first of all thanking our colleagues from the United Kingdom and our colleagues from Microsoft who have been very helpful in either financing or providing technical support to us over the last year in helping us to move this process forward. I am not a technical guru. I might be described as by some as a visionary, and therefore the concept of the knowledge hub is something that I envisaged when I assumed with Antigua and Barbuda the chair of AOSIS. The basis is simple. We, as AOSIS, have been in existence for over 30 years, just for member states who are led by us. And we understand the role, a very significant role in the international global community, the multilateral arena in setting the agenda of climate and environment. We are similarly playing a significant role in the area of sustainable development and the oceans, the additional two areas that AOSIS has taken on over the last few years. To that end, it is important that we do not lose history. You know the old maxim about those who know their history, and the old maxim of what you are doomed to repeat. We would like to be able to establish in perpetuity a knowledge focal base point where we can use the AOSIS website and a knowledge hub and linking that to other similar knowledge portals around the world. There is one in the Pacific. I was recently speaking to the Caribbean Development Bank, and the president of the bank was indicating to me his excitement about AOSIS launching this knowledge hub and the bank launching a similar thing in the Caribbean. So having something in the Caribbean, something in the Pacific, and the AOSIS portal from here, we will be able to provide for academia, we'll be able to provide for policymakers, we'll be able to provide for students, we'll be able to provide for leaders, general information, and policy manual and briefs on the issues that are important to small island developing states. This, we believe, and I believe, is very, very important. And it is something, and I am very excited that we can launch this process today, because I believe this would be most helpful in the further development of AOSIS as a significant group within the United Nations system. And it would be very important to member states, individuals, and those categories I mentioned earlier in looking at and learning from the lessons that we have learned over the many years. And again, we will be able to go back in history, see where we have come from. We'll be able to plan, use these documents as tools in planning. And I believe it would be most useful tool for our community. And I'm very happy that my colleagues, Leah, Andy, Claxton, and others who have joined in on this process to get us to this point. We launch today. We hope that the public will immediately begin to make use. We have to make it known to people that it exists, and we will do so. And we have to, of course, maintain the process so that it becomes and it becomes correct. So one thing I want to express thanks to our colleagues from the United Kingdom, our colleagues from, and I want obviously to express my deep appreciation to my team because they have brought this vision and making us now feel comfortable that we can launch the process. Thanks, guys. Good luck, and may this live long, and may we find perfect use for this tool. Thank you. Let me begin by, first of all,
Okay, so there you go. Ambassador Walton Webson there, permanent representative of Antigua and Barbuda to the United Nations, and his capacity there as AOSIS chair, pretty much laying the groundwork for what we have been seeking to achieve and undertake here at AOSIS in terms of presenting a source from which and through which information related to the work of AOSIS over the past 3 decades or so can be easily accessed.
I'm sure everyone's seen the website before. So we've got the kind of homepage, recent statements go up, press releases, all of this stuff pulls from the document library, which we'll get to in a second. So the issues, this is the new tab here, information about the fellowship, events, news, and about AOSIS. So under the document library, we have just around 135 resources uploaded so far, and many thanks to, in particular, call out Espen for sending us a whole bunch of documents on AOSIS when Sama was chairing, I believe. So we're in the process of uploading and adding to that. So what we can do is here we can search in. So, you know, it's Belize, so it pulls up. Sometimes you have to press that button. Sometimes enter doesn't work. So Belize pulls up 19 results, and you can see what's coming up. And then on top of this, you could go Belize climate, and it might reduce down some of the filters. So it helps to kind of add in the filters that we've got down here. There are, so these pull for just the most kind of key factors. And so there's a lot, like in here, there's a couple more. Sustainable development is it, and then years, so you can expand a little bit. But this is really just a short list of all the different tags that we've actually have. The way we've done, there were some questions. Spencer, Dr. Thomas was asking questions, so I'll just address this. That was in this morning's webinar. So the way we've done these topics are the 3 issues that AOSIS works on: climate, ocean, sustainable development, plus fellowships. And all of this tagging is done on the back end on the AOSIS side as we upload resources. Subtopics are, for example, climate has mitigation, adaptation, finance. Oceans has BBNJ, law of the sea, blue economy. Sustainable development has SDGs, UN Convention on Sustainable Development, you know, finance issues. So those are some of the tags that we have put in to try to help guide the use of it. Forums match the UN negotiating process. So all climate is under UNFCCC. Then sustainable development has ECOSOC, General Assembly, GA. So, and then meetings, you know, first committee, second committee, COP26, COP25. So hopefully this will help to kind of, if you're looking for something specific, it should be able to get you to AOSIS statements in that area. So there was, so this is the overall kind of searching interface. I wanted to do one kind of document detail. So we'll go framework convention here. And so we have 11 results, and if you'll see that they do go onto a second page. So if you go to the second page, we have uploaded this AOSIS statement and submission on creating the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. That was by Vanuatu in 1991. And so when you click on a resource, it takes you into a new window. So to go back to your search, you have to go to the other tab. And here, so it's a statement. So you've got the type of document that it is up here. Some of this topic for a meeting information right here, where there's a photo that shows up on the right. And then we, on the back end, we had to make it searchable, we've copied and pasted the text from the document here. So when you search in that search bar, it actually searches the text of all the documents, not just the tag. So Andy's been working very hard to get all of the text from the documents in some of these older ones that have a lot of typos and everything into a searchable format. And then, so that's there, not always the most beautiful formatting, but it should be correct. And then you can download PDF, and this takes you to the original resource there. So as you can see, this is a statement by AOSIS at the 4th meeting of the negotiating committee for the UNFCCC. So that's pretty much the walkthrough of the document library. I think that the idea is it's kind of getting together all of the AOSIS statements, submissions, presentations, so resources that reflect group positions into one place and making that searchable instead of having to go onto the UNFCCC submissions and the different things for sustainable development, everything. So it should be bringing it into one place. Our task at the moment is to pull, just bring that historical document literature available here. And then going forward, it will really be important for the AOSIS, each AOSIS chair to kind of upload those resources in real time to make them available. So I think we can pause here, and maybe if Andy's back as well, we can take some questions now. If there's any questions or feedback, I think that we already have something from Espen. Yes, Espen.
Okay, I'm back, Leah, I think. And thanks for the collaborative effort. I think we're spot on in terms of the presentation because our information was quite synchronized. So I don't think we missed a beat at all.
I had the benefit of hearing you this morning, so I hope I remembered enough.
Yeah. Oh man.
So we're on to Q&A if you want to moderate the Q&A, Andy.
Yeah, sure, certainly. And just let me, at this opportunity, I don't know if you did before, expressed our profound appreciation to Espen because he pretty much answered the call. We sent out information to everyone so that they could submit their documents, information, statements, what have you, so that we could pretty much populate the site. It is as much ours as it is yours. It is for everyone, and the success of this site, the information provided, is basically contingent on the amount of data and information and papers, submissions, what have you, that everyone provides. We cannot do it without the support of everyone. Yes, we have been searching, doing the necessary research, going to the various sites, UNFCCC, doing the Google searches, what have you.
So Andy, sorry, you can see the hands up? Just checking. We have 3 hands, 3 people wanting to take the floor, yeah.
Okay, yes. I'm seeing hands. So please, certainly. I was just making the point that it is very important that we answer that call, and the information that you may have easily accessible to yourself, please send them in to AOSIS so that we can do the necessary uploads to the site so that information can be made available to everyone. Good day, Espen.
Thank you very much, Andy, and thank you, Leah, for giving me a very interesting task during lockdown here in Samoa. You made me go back through a lot of old files and look for reports and statements, and I just realized that I hadn't sent the General Assembly statements that I had, so I just emailed all of those to you now. It was quite an interesting exercise. There were a lot of things I'd forgotten about, and if you don't remember your history, you'll be bound to repeat your mistakes. So I think it's very important for us that we have this historical record, but also, like you said, that this will be the real-time uploading of new documentation. One of the challenges that I'm not sure how we're going to address is the video content, the historical video content. I have access to a little bit of that, but in the old days, we didn't tend to store these very much because they were very large files back in the days. Of course, they can now be compressed. So I think that will be an interesting task to try and dig up some of the interviews with the AOSIS chairman, with the lead negotiators, and so forth. I think a lot of it will be available if you have a careful look. But I know for a fact that I have not saved a lot of videos. But I think that would be an important addition to this collection. I really congratulate you on the work that you've done. It's really great. And finally, we made the request to try and link this to the Pacific Data Hub, which links all the different environment and data portals in the region, including the Pacific Climate Change Portal and the Oceans Portal and all of that. So we would very much like to have that formal linkage to the AOSIS library as well. But I heard Ambassador say that was something they were welcoming, so that's just great. We'll just have to work through the practical details of how to do that. Thank you very much for the presentation, and thank you also for extending to my time zone so that I could join you on this. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Espen. Thank you for your support. Really profoundly appreciated indeed. And on the matter of video as well, you're spot on in terms of sharing those videos. Accessing what has been there from going back for a few years might be the challenge, but now with the technological possibilities, we can compress those files and have them shareable and have them on that platform as well. So the possibilities are quite endless in the times that we live. So hopefully we can pursue that aggressively to ensure that the document library is reflective of all of the possible information and hard work that we've done over the years. I see a familiar name, Janine Felsen. I remember speaking to Janine during the AOSIS Islands podcast, and it was one of those conversations that really pulled me in. And I really enjoyed having that conversation with her because she shared a wealth of information about the challenges that we are presently experiencing. And it helped me personally to understand the experiences of AOSIS and the experiences of island states in dealing with climate change. So it is indeed a pleasure to hear your voice again, Janine.
Hi, you'll hear my voice because I'm pulling you into my kitchen. I'm cooking for my children.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I feel very island life right now.
Yeah, exactly. But it was great. I'm glad to see this being launched. This is fabulous, and I love the idea of the potential of it being an interoperable platform that links to other platforms, and I'm sure there are a heap of possibilities with that. In terms of the gathering of information, I do hope that you were able to get the documents library that Belize had as AOSIS chair. I know we had spent some time documenting every single piece of communication from the chair as well as to official sites, etc. So if you don't have that, then I'm sure that's easily accessed, because we ended up having to do everything online because of COVID. The second thing I wanted to ask was, I know the focus is on the main thematic areas that AOSIS has followed,
Okay.
Since its genesis. But there are also initiatives, maybe by chairs, maybe in individual capacities, that perhaps never really had traction, but they are significant on multilateral in the multilateral agenda. And I'm thinking, the whole discussion on human rights and climate change. I'm presuming that may be there, but I know Maldives was behind some of that work. It's not AOSIS proper, perhaps, but it is AOSIS leaders led, and that has taken on a whole new dimension in the context of the Geneva body that deals with human rights. And then there's also the security and climate change related initiatives that was largely led by the Pacific SIDS. Again, it didn't have. I don't recall if at any particular point we stamped it as an AOSIS initiative. We've certainly spoken in support of it, but I don't know what you'd call those new areas, emerging areas, and I wonder if that's something that is relevant, because it is significant in terms of the impact it has had on multilateral agenda and the voice of small island developing states, really bringing forward. And I think that's what I hope this website will do for the rest of the world, is to show that small island developing states have been on the cutting edge of some of the most critical areas in international law and international policymaking. So I just wondered if those might be potential areas that will be addressed, or emerging areas maybe. And then just finally, I guess with invitation to submit documentation, will you have sort of like a quality control parameter that you will share with us, or is that something that will be developed at some point in time? And that's it from my end. Thanks.
All right, I'm probably going to defer to Leah on a couple of your questions, but I just quickly want to say what is powerful for me, Janine, and in agreeing with you, is that we have this single portal through which all of this information is documented. I say that against the background of what I will say next in your response for us to sort of broaden the scope, as it were, to have the website inclusive of all of the areas that AOSIS has touched. In terms of prioritizing the work right now, in terms of the gathering of information, which is an important part of the process, we basically have to stick to or ensure that we get all of those information that AOSIS has been focused upon. And I think in the long term, or medium to long term, we can start seeing the broadening of the scope. I mean, things move at parallel. It can happen at both at the same time. But at the same time, in terms of prioritizing, we need to start to get those documents and all of that information in. We just need to get them in. And then in response to your last question there, I think in terms of managing the process now, I had suggested from the outset that there needs to be, in terms of that quality control, a sort of editorial board, something of the sorts, to ensure that the filtration internally and can ensure that what we reflect on the site now is exactly what members of the public, academia, and everyone is really searching for, and it is easily accessible. So I think I pretty much summed up everything that you said, but I can defer to Leah for probably a broader and deeper answer and more concise answer as to exactly some of the matters that you raised.
Thanks a lot for the question. I think on the first note for Believe, we have a fantastic handover report from your team, and so we've been extracting individual documents from that. So if there's something other than that extensive like compilation of everything, then I'll be in touch with you to make sure we get it in at this stage. In terms of the other initiatives, this kind of dovetails with the quality control question, because anything that's AOSIS statements, AOSIS content has gone through its own like rigorous quality control in terms of group position. So by narrowing our focus just to what has been kind of AOSIS public statements, positions, all of that, that's the content quality control. And then we have our own, like the back end way of submitting a document and then uploading it, and then it gets reviewed, approved by someone, by that thematic expert within the AOSIS chairs team. So the quality control I see would come more as if we brought it to other kind of non-AOSIS content. Right now, we're staying pretty laser focused on what has been AOSIS statements, and Andy has his hands full for a good chunk of time on AOSIS content for sure. I think, yeah, there's one more question.
Michelle Lopez.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Michelle Lopez. I'm the Document Management Officer for the 5Cs. I would just like to thank you all on your initiative. I think it's a really great step forward and direction that you guys are going in. I wasn't a part of this morning's session, and from what I've heard previously, this question was already asked before in terms of integrating or linking with other organizations or other portals. So I'm just here to express my interest to see how the 5Cs can work with AOSIS to link our knowledge hubs. Our regional clearinghouse, we had launched it in 2010, so we have a wide range or variety of documents that we have on our portal. And our portal has always been unique since the focus for us has been climate change specific to the Caribbean or CARICOM member states. We even had done several digitizing activities with several member states where we got some of their printed materials online and now available via regional clearinghouse. So I'm really excited about this. I'm looking forward to see if there's anything from us that you like, or if there's somewhere that we can integrate both hubs when you guys are ready to take that direction.
Yeah, thank you very much. The collaborative support is indeed necessary, and the offer that you made, of course, definitely be in the consideration of the AOSIS team so that we can continue to build out our platform and build out our footprint across the globe. So I'm really very happy to hear that. And I'm sure, Leah, it will be aggressively explored. All right.
Great. And on that, I think on that point, something we could quickly, like a low-hanging fruit approach would be just to put a like little logo of the 5Cs and the Pacific hub links, so that at least someone who's going on to AOSIS would see how to get to the regional hub. So I think that would be something we could actually probably do next week, and then look at like further integration down the track. But yeah, so there's that kind of crossover as much as possible. So great. I'll follow up with you, Michelle, and Esther next week on the hubs that you want to have kind of show up and how to take that forward. So thank you so much. And we really appreciate everyone joining today. I think it's really the purpose of this is to be useful, to make information used and readily available, support more like academic literature and kind of policy research on AOSIS priorities. As Ambassador Felsen said, that since many of the positions and the issues that we're still confronting have been really eloquently articulated in the past, and then it helps strengthen our positions when we say AOSIS called for this and back 5 years ago on this topic at this date. And so the purpose of it is really to be a useful resource for us, for all of us who are working on SIDS advocacy in our different areas. So it's here to be used. We have a lot of work ahead just in terms of getting more resources up on the Knowledge Hub. And as more is there, then hopefully it's kind of a reinforcing process. The
okay, Leah?
sustainability.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I was just going to say the sustainability of the hub is key, and Antigua ends our chairmanship at the end of this year. It goes to the Pacific. And so we're already thinking about, how does some kind of this go chair to chair? And Ambassador Webson is going to work with the new chair so that there's kind of staffing resources to do the Knowledge Hub. And we are also doing manuals and all of this stuff. But I think the more people that are using it and kind of tracking that's key. So what we have here is just a little thank you. So thanks for joining. We wanted to, again, express appreciation for the UK mission to the UN for supporting this, and Microsoft, who has made kind of an IT consultancy firm available to do a lot of the back end development. And we have, were you going to comment on the email address, Andy, or something else?
No, I just wanted to just acknowledge the contribution being made by MJ Mace. He's in the chat. Basically stating I have quite a few historical submissions on mitigation, the Kyoto Protocol, markets, and some presentations given on behalf of AOSIS during in-session workshops and intersessional workshops on loss and damage, mitigation, and markets. And that was when he was coordinating different issues. It will take some time, but I will send what I can. Very grateful for the enthusiasm, and grateful for the enthusiasm and contributions so far from SPEN as well. So the library at aosis.org website, that's where, of course, the website is located, and Leah can share the information as to the email with those information, those bits of documents that you have, MJ, can be sent. Leah?
Yes, like OMGE, right? That was a AOSIS concept that got traction, and that's still a battle that needs to continue to be fought. So yeah, we would definitely appreciate your library dump, MJ. And do you want to come in? I think you unmuted. Yeah. Oh, I'm not hearing. Sorry, audio issues. We have technology gremlins today with us, so bear with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for your enthusiasm, and thanks for joining today, and look forward to continuing to collaborate on the Knowledge Hub.
Thanks everyone.